Welcome to the SwimSwam breakdown. Coming to you from Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm Coleman Hodges. After night 3 of the 2022 World Championship Trials for the United States, I'm joined by Ben Dornan. Ben, initial thoughts on night 3?
Yeah, it was going pretty well for the whole session. Some exciting swims, and then last heat of the night, world record. Which, if you were watching the live stream, and I don't know like how it was playing actually at the pool, but Michelangelo actually teased after the 50 breast that he thought that there was going to be, or maybe it was after the 100 fly, that he thought that there was going to be a world record in the 50 back. He actually made that call right before, obviously after Hunter had an American record in the morning. He was clearly looking good going into the final, and he pulled it off and became, I think, the second man under 24 seconds ever after Kolesnikov, and then right after Justin Ress became the third.
Yeah. I mean, that was a crazy 50 back. You had Hunter going that 23.71. He said in his post-race interview that NCAA's wasn't a great meet. There was some stuff going on with the Ohio State team, and he just didn't seem like he was in a great place. I've also talked to his parents and his coaches, and they say it's like pulling teeth to get him to try to swim yards and actually, fully commit 2 yards, because he's just much more of a long course guy. So I think we knew that this kind of a swim was gonna come, but I don't think we saw this caliber of swim from him. He was also very adamant about saying that he really wanted to prove that last summer wasn't a fluke. Making that Olympic team wasn't just a one-time thing. And I think he's done it now at this point. Like you said, Justin Ress, 23.92 for the third fastest man ever. And then Shane Casas, 24.00 for the fourth fastest man ever. This sets us up so well for the 100 back tomorrow. Is Ryan Murphy even going to make the team in the 100 back?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's obviously for every event, there's a lot riding on it, but for now, it seems like Justin Ress is in the most interesting position, because we know that Kolesnikov won't be at World Championships. So if you took Armstrong and Ress and you put them in the 50 back, they would be the only people in the field at World Championships under 24. They'd be the favorites there, but
well, there's certainly 1-2 in the world right now as well.
Yeah. But we know from the selection criteria that the only way that Ress gets onto the team is if he wins the 100 back, which, even if we say will Murphy win,
or get second, right?
That's what we're not so sure about. If he gets second and someone other than Armstrong wins, then the person who wins the 100 back gets that second 50 backstroke spot. So if Murphy wins the 100 back, then
sure. But if he gets second the 100 back, he makes the team.
He makes the team in the 100 back.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying the only chance that he has to get a spot in the 50 back as the second fastest, the second fastest in history in terms of people that are going to be at the meet, rides on the 100 back. So that'll be interesting to see. Because he's not a sure bet for top 2 in the 100 back by any means with Armstrong, Murphy, Casas. You never know who else.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone is a sure bet for top 2 in this 100 back, right? Because you have those 4 just all clumped together at this point. We know Murphy has the 200 already, and he's the world record holder, obviously. But Shane, Justin, and Hunter all have the speed. Hunter is the self-proclaimed back half swimmer. I'm really excited about that race tomorrow. And then we saw women's 50 back, where Catherine Burkhoff carried her NCAA success over. U.S. Open record, American record, 27.12. Reagan Smith also under that American record, 27.25. And Olivia Smoliga tied her own American record in best time, 27.33, which again sets up a great race for the 100 back tomorrow.
Yeah. You have kind of the sprinters in Smoliga and Burkhoff who are going to come from the 50 to the 100, and then you have Phoebe Bacon and Ryan White who made the 200, obviously. And they're going to be coming down. Ryan White had I think she was 4th in the 50, so she's kind of been solid in both, but Phoebe didn't actually race the 50 at all. So you have the 4 of them, and then obviously Reagan Smith, who is former world record holder, made the team in the 100 last year. So I don't know if they all have an equal chance, but it seems like all 5 of them have a shot in the 100 back tomorrow. So that I think both the men's and the women's race is going to be really, really interesting to see.
All right. So out of those 5 women you just named, who pick one who is a surefire in your book to make the 100 back tomorrow?
I think Reagan. I think even though she's been relatively off in the 200 back for the last 2 years, she hasn't shown the same relative weakness in the 100 back yet. I don't think. I don't know. I mean, I don't actually know if anyone's going to be a 57 in the 100 back. It doesn't seem like that's a sure bet, but if anyone does get under that 58 point, I think it's going to be Reagan. I think she'll take it, but behind her, I really don't know who to pick.
I agree. I think Reagan would be a safe bet for top 2, the safest bet for top 2. You know, I think she will make it. It seems like she's having a decent meet, especially with that speed in the 50 back. So I think she can do that. We saw 3 American records tonight: 50 back, 50 back, and 50 breast with Michael Andrew, who, again, we had 2 people go under the previous American record. Fink was also in there, but Andrew just got the touch, 3 100s ahead of him. So like Michael had a pretty quiet meet until tonight, and then he tripled, swam 100 fly, 50 breast, 50 back, and made the team in 2 of those events, 50 breast, 100 fly. He will probably swim the 50 fly because of how selection procedures work, because Dressel was the winner and he also, and then he's still got the 100 breasts and the 50 free. I can tell you with tonight in the media room, he's like, yeah, I've got 100 breasts and 50 free left. So he's not swimming the 200 IM. But it's looking good for him because those 2 events, I would say, are his most solid events.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because the 200 IM is before the 50 free on the last day. So I think considering, you have Brooks Curry coming up in the 50 free, there's a bunch of guys that are going to be competitive in the 50 free. So he's definitely not a sure bet in the 50 free. So I think it makes sense to take that 200 IM off, just I guess for this year. Because he's also not a sure bet in the 200 IM,
Do you see Michael medaling at Worlds in the 100 fly?
In the 100 fly, I think if he makes the team, he has a shot. Dressel's definitely the favorite to win gold, but we were all surprised when Noe Ponte, I don't know how to say his name. I've never said it.
That's correct.
Noe Ponte medal. There wasn't really a clear favorite for that bronze medal. Dressel and Milak were probably the presumptive favorites to get top 2, but I think that the 3rd place is still kind of pretty open right now, and it'll be overall Worlds is going to be a weaker field than the Olympics. So I don't know if that'll specifically hit the 100 fly, the men's 100 fly, but I think getting onto the US team for Michael Andrew would get him in the running for at least a bronze medal, maybe 2nd.
Yeah, he has yet to win an individual Worlds medal, and I think this will be his Worlds to accomplish that feat, whether it is in 50 breast, 100 fly, 50 fly, 100 breast, or 50 free. Geez, 5 individuals. That's, even though 3 of them are 50s, it's a lot of swims for Michael. But yeah, I think he can get an individual medal in at least one of those.
Yeah, I'd say his best shot is the 50 breast because that's the event where he might face Petey, but Petey's less of a threat in the 50, I'd say, and then no Dressel.
So many fast old dudes. You kind of never know who's gonna, what 35-year-old's gonna come out of the woodwork. But so moving on, we had some other interesting swims tonight. Claire Curzan and Tori Husk made it in the 100 fly to no one's surprise. They both went 56 low, which was nice. Let's say it, Carson Foster.
He did it.
He did it. He's broken the curse, right?
He did it. 409. He cruised
a prelim swim, which he even said in his interview tonight. He was like, yeah, it felt pretty weird to like back off in a prelim swim. But he went 409.
Paid off.
He was tied, or he was like really close to chase at the 300, and Fink was just coming for both of them, right? So it was a really great race.
Yeah.
He stayed poised. He was able to actually have a good last 100 and bring it home. Fink 27.4 coming home.
Yeah.
Next fastest.
Yeah, we didn't get that Fink final 50 on the first night, so he, I guess, wanted to do something here, and it makes sense. It's not only a 400, but it's less than a 1500. So he had that speed and that power at the very end. And Kalish is obviously talented all around, but freestyle isn't his focus. So that was the place to get Kalish for Fink. How do you say his last name? Fink.
Yeah.
And he almost had it. I was watching and he almost got him, but Kalish pulled through.
I thought it was funny that like he was 7-100. Bobby Fink touched 7-100s behind Chase Kalish, and you heard the crowd go audible, "Oh," because everyone thought that he was going to pass Chase. And
it looked like he had.
But that's not a knock against Chase or anything. I think everyone was just like, he's going to pass him. He's going to. Oh, it was pretty funny. But I think people don't always think of him when they think of the 400 IM. And he certainly hasn't had a swim like that in the 400 IM long course. But it's like, NCAA champion in that event, national champion in 2019 in that event, where he ran down the Foster brothers in similar fashion. So it was cool to see him have that swim. And it was cool to see Chase Kalish make another team in the 400 IM after we kind of thought he might be done with that event.
Yeah. If there's one thing Chase Kalish can do is make the team in the 400 IM. It was good to see.
On the female side in that event, Katie Grimes had the swim that I think at least her and her team knew that she could have. If we recall, she at Olympic trials, that was the event that she kind of thought, her and her coach kind of thought that she would make it in, or she had the best shot in, and then she didn't even make the final. And so then they kind of had to reassess everything. 436. Okay. I was confused. We had an article up for like 10 seconds that said it was a world junior record. Do you know the story behind this?
Yes, that was my article. It was a mistake that I made. We were talking in the chat and someone said, I think that was a world junior record. And I said, no, because Summer McIntosh swam a 429 at that meet before trials.
Yep.
And then we realized that is probably not going to be ratified. It's not on the FINA website, but Mio Narita's from, I think, the day before Summers. Mio Narita of Japan swam a 436, but a little bit slower than Katie Grimes 436. So Grimes got under what's on the FINA website as the world junior record pending. But the wrinkle that we didn't realize was that at Canadian trials, McIntosh swam a 434. So the 429 doesn't count, but even though it's not on the FINA website, Canadian trials will get ratified more than likely.
Why wasn't the Canadian meet? Why doesn't that count?
I don't think that they actually came out and said it, but I think that something about the doping protocol is our theory that they, like, it wasn't of the threshold to get ratified. So even though she showed that, and it counted as a Canadian record, which is interesting.
Right.
But they have different protocols, I guess. So yeah, Grimes she was under the current official world junior record, but once McIntosh's 434 gets ratified, that's faster than Grimes. So, but still an incredible swim. 436 down from a 441 best time, and making the team, bouncing back well from the 800 freestyle where she was 4th overall. That was great for Grimes.
Yeah. And it was cool to see her make the team again, especially after missing in the 800 free, missing in the 200 free. I mean, it was very similar to her Olympic trials where she completely missed in the 4 IM and then had that amazing mile where she got 3rd by not that much. She was catching her teammate Erica Sullivan. And then she came back on the very last day and made it in the 800 free. So it was cool to see her make the team in a similar way there.
Yeah, and she'll still have a shot to make the 1500 again. Erica's not there, so she's 2nd seed and the only person other than Ledecky under 16 in the heat sheet. So So yeah, she could be looking at 2 events, neither of which she even swam in Tokyo. So it's a pretty good situation for her.
Looking good for the youngsters. I can't believe the Sandpipers have put 3 girls on the team again, 2 repeats. But yeah, then they have Claire Weinstein in the individual 200 free, who's like, I think she's barely 15. I think she's very recently turned 15.
Yeah, she broke a 13-14 national age group record in January 2022. So she was 14 at the beginning of this year, just turned 15, and is already like 4th overall, 3rd or 4th in the 15-16 age rankings.
Yeah, pretty wild that she will be swimming individually in Budapest. So a couple people who will not be, or who scratched for tomorrow. Paige Madden scratched the 400 free. She didn't make the team. She announced that she has Hashimoto disease, and she's been struggling that for quite a while, which, affects your energy levels. It can cause fatigue. It can cause depression. She said in an Instagram post that she hadn't really felt effects from it until this year, but it sounds like it can really take effect when it does. Were you kind of surprised to see this after her performances this week?
I don't think that I was surprised to hear that this was the reason, because I've never heard of this disease and wouldn't have made that connection. But I wasn't surprised that there was kind of a reason behind this. She's been pretty consistent in terms of performing at meets like this, and she's definitely been better than she was in the 200 free. She did the 200 free, and I don't remember what she placed, but she was off where she's been in the past.
She was in the B final.
Yeah, in the B final. So I'm not surprised that there's a reason. It's just it's always sad to see people not make the team and just miss, but it's even sadder to see people miss the team when it's kind of out of their control and a reason like this. Just too bad. But hopefully she'll, I don't know, she still has time to try to make a comeback next year or something. But yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah, and I think this makes sense, especially with the way she was swimming. Like we said, I think she qualified 9th or 10th in prelims in the 200 free, and then dropped all the way to 15th in finals. She did 7th in the B final. And so, again, that kind of shows that fatigue, not able to maintain or sustain performance throughout the day. But it is a bummer to see that, especially since she had such a great Olympic trials, and medal at the Olympics was a great big part of that women's 4x2 free relay silver. Hopefully she's able to get some good rest, maybe see her in Irvine, but hopefully definitely see her next year. Bobby Fink is out of the 400 free. Lame. He's having such a good meet. Why doesn't he just swim it?
I know, especially in the current state of the 400 freestyle. It's not, it's never easy, but it's not like he wouldn't have a shot at making the team. I think that I forget what his opening split was, but his opening split in his 800 or in his 1500 was something that's pretty competitive. Yeah, 351 in the 1500. So I don't know. I guess it's just he doesn't want to swim 4 events in Budapest and may as well not swim. Or sorry, 3 events. He doesn't want to swim 3 events in Budapest. So
yeah, it's I feel like the 4 IM and 4 free are very different events, and it seems like he can kind of muscle his way through a 400 IM or swim it the way he wants it. But I think the 400 free is just a much different gear than the 800 and 1500, and I'd take the day of rest too, especially as the defending Olympic champion in the 800 free. I'll just rest up for that one. But I would love to see him throw down a 400 free. Maybe he'll come to Irvine and join the David Johnston, Shane Casas 400 free bonanza.
That would be pretty exciting to see. I think Fink would have a good shot at winning that one, but you never know.
That would be pretty awesome. All right. Well, that is your day 3 finals. Wait, what did you title it? Instant reactions.
Instant reactions. Yeah.
Yes, that's your day 3 finals, instant reactions. Stay tuned tomorrow for day 4.